Few, if any, of those flying El Al from New York to Israel ever noticed the small, quiet groups of passengers who flew along with them. Nor did they notice how Jewish agency personnel at Ben Gurion Airport discreetly identified the quiet ones and took them aside. From Damascus to New York to Tel Aviv, that was the clandestine route to Israel for some 1,300 of the almost 4,000 Jews allowed to leave Syria during the last 2 years. That was the route taken by Lisa Basso and her relatives, Syrian Jewish newlyweds. 3 of Lisa's daughters awaited her at Ben Gurion Airport. They had reached Israel clandestinely years before. With them were the grandchildren she had never seen before. These scenes remained a closely guarded secret until mid-October 1994, when news of the Syrian Jewish exodus finally broke. Jews had lived in Syria for more than 2,300 years, but since 1948 they had been all but trapped. For 45 years, the American Jewish Joint Distribution Committee kept open a secret lifeline to the Jewish community in Syria. Funds for welfare, medical care, and Jewish education were sent by JDC. Though Syria's 5,000 Jews were allowed to maintain their religious observances and their traditional occupations, the few who obtained tourist visas were forced to leave behind their property and families as collateral. For hundreds of children at the Jewish school, like all Syrian youngsters, the day began with a salute to Syria's flag and to its ruler. Then, still in uniform, they turned to secular and religious studies. A visiting amateur cameraman encountered the Syrian Jewish community's spiritual leader and its representative to Syrian authorities, Rabbi Abraham Hamra. 3 times each day in Damascus, the rabbi and his flock prayed in Hebrew, facing south toward Jerusalem. When the time came to leave, certain constraints forced Rabbi Hamra not to go directly to Israel, but first, as did the majority of Syrian Jews, to Brooklyn. Earlier arrivals and various Jewish organizations provided support. Representatives of the Jewish Agency Immigration and Absorption Department worked with each family and their relatives in Israel to allay fears and solve problems. More than a few still bore the physical and spiritual scars of their past. During his 6 years in a Syrian prison, this man was tortured for the crime of wanting to leave for Israel. Brooklyn warmly welcomed the 4,000 newcomers. But in October 1994, Rabbi Hamra decides the time has come to repack his bags.
Okay.
The decision by Syrian Jewry's spiritual leader to take his wife and 6 children to Israel also has clear political implications for future relations between Israel and Syria, which explains why the Hamra home in Brooklyn is besieged by the media, much of it from Israel, and by people of the Joint Distribution Committee. Ralph Goldman, the honorary executive president of the Joint and a close friend of the rabbi, comes to say goodbye. The Syrian Jewish community of Brooklyn bids its rabbi farewell in an emotional celebration that ends with the sounding of the shofar and a special prayer for Israel.
We had to keep everything under covers. Today with the rabbi and his family, he's the Chief Rabbi of Syria, and that's important to remember. That he's a chief rabbi moving to Israel with his family, I think will give an additional boost to the 2,000 so Syrian Jews that are living here.
The Hamra family's Brooklyn experience is over, but not quite. They leave behind relatives and friends. But if their emotions are unsettled, their gaze remains fixed eastward to Jerusalem.
Welcome to our flight to Tel Aviv. Our flight time today is 9 hours and 40 minutes.
The rabbi is lost in prayer and perhaps in thought on what the future holds for him in Israel. His oldest son, Subhi, cannot fall asleep.
I've never been in Israel, but what I heard is I heard somebody saying something wrong, something bad, someone saying it's beautiful. Now I'm going to see and then decide.
What was your parting message to your community? I told them that whoever loves me should follow me to Israel. And will they? Yes, many will come. And so the Hamra family heads back to the Middle East, this time to Israel. And a prayer crosses their lips. Grant us peace, and peace to the people of Israel.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Israel. We've just landed at Airport.
Israel greets the Hamra family as bearers of good tidings. A phalanx of dignitaries assembles at Ben Gurion Airport. Foreign Minister Shimon Peres, Acting Chairman of the Jewish Agency Yechiel Leket, Minister of Immigrant Absorption Yair Tzaban, and Michael Schneider of the Joint Distribution Committee.
I'm very happy now in Israel. This first time, I'm happy. I hope to see all Israel.
Less than a week after his arrival, Rabbi Hamra is invited to the Arava Valley to witness the signing of a peace treaty between Israel and Jordan. Will the future stage a similar scene with Syria?
Rabbi Hamra, how are you feeling about being here today?
I'm very, very happy. I don't speak English very well.
How are you feeling? There's a new dawn in the Middle East. Now there's hope of reaching a comprehensive settlement.
The beginning. Shalom. Salam. Peace.
Rabbi Hamra's Aliyah and the exodus of Syrian Jewry. They're two chapters in a continuing story, a story told through partnership, through the unflagging support and the generous contributions of Jews throughout the United States, through the United Jewish Appeal.